Okay, the next lesson in 3.4 we have the Squirrel by Ambai. Okay, so very short and sweet lesson, as such said by Ambai, the writer. Like he's a famous short story writer. You should have known him. It was written in Tamil language, title Anil. Okay, actually, and was translated into English by Vasant Kannabiran. Okay, and Chudamani Raghavan in 1992. This all these details and all, like you can know from your about the author and all these things. Like if you read the book back, no, you will get the details about the author. Okay, this is what I'm just trying to say for you. And then, what is this story all about? Your text, this text, little text which is written, you'll give a short intro for you. What is all about? This is a translation of Ambai's Annis from the Tamil from her book A Kitchen in the Corner of the House. It depicts a disheartened researcher in women's studies trying to locate a few old books in the library. The whole section is poorly maintained and abandoned. The books are beyond mending and are about to be disposed of in a fire. It indirectly alludes to the state of women in society and the status of their creative output. The story also assures a quest for rediscovery. So it is all talking about how the women writers have been treated in the society, and this is what in this little story she tries to say for you. This particular person Ambani tries to say. The story is actually based, like say the gist of the story, based on the narrator's visit to a library. Actually, this narrator of the squirrel, he visits to library. Okay, sorry, he visits to the library, and oh my god, 1 minute, it's getting folded. Yes. See, could see this she goes there. This author goes visits to the library. She asks the librarian, like, what was there on the top of the library, top floor of the library. Librarian said that there was nothing but only dust. Okay, the narrator asked about the books, like what are all the books over there in this paragraph, like you will be knowing, or like what is that she's trying to ask. And then the library replied that those were the books written by the women authors. So this is was this is what she gets astonished. And there the narrator asked him to allow her to look at those books. So there was a squirrel which she has come there. Okay, was a squirrel which has come there to eat the glue found on the covers of the books. So that there she sees a squirrel, coming and sitting and eating the glue of the books. The character of the squirrel in the story stood for the inner world of the narrator. Like it's actually, she feels that she is like the squirrel going there and narrating her a picture like where the non-living things, like this kind of people are utilizing the books in this kind of a way. So the transition between dream and reality and the vice versa is made through this representation of the squirrel. Okay, this is what actually the truth is all about. It is a representation, vice versa. Okay, the narrator found volumes of Penmadi Bodhini, and you can see Jagan Mogini and many other books in the third floor of the library. So she could see all these books, all those names of the books. You could read them. Jagan Mogini, Penmadi books and all will be found in that top floor where she went. And the narrator touched the spine of the mended 19th century book and felt as though, like, she was shocked and rose from the sole of her foot. So she, when by touching the books, she felt everything is in like in a position to be torn. Okay, it's like, it's not maintained correctly. Like it's all going to tear in minutes. So like within few minutes, she could see that the things are not going to be put up in the proper way for her. So she feels very bad seeing the condition of these books. Okay, and then the narrator sarcastically says that only she and the squirrel were there to grieve for Anna Satyanandan, who was on her deathbed, and asked her husband to pray. So she talking about the characters whom she reads in this particular books. Okay, so one particular book she reads like this, and then Christianity book she sees. See here, she talks about this Anna Satyanandan. how she and Satyanandan is all alone there crying in the deathbed, and about the Christianity broke. Okay, though she meshed windows of the library. Then a Bengali girl set fire to herself when she could not prevent her father selling their own house to meet her marriage expenses. That's the books she read made her feel the agony of the women writers. She went there and she started reading the writers, Tamil writers' books, and it was a lot of agony, a pain only she felt in herself. Like all this is a description, like whatever I'm saying you can utilize them for your essays. And then the narrator says that the books on the third floor of the library were not mere books. Even she talks like that, they're not mere books on the third floor of the library. They were all, mm, they talked about the whole generation agonizing with life, the whole generation, that is a generation of the women. They are all agonizing. Our Indian women wore 9-yard saris and played badminton with the white women. They were addressed as my girl, trying to sound, okay, like they were addressed trying to sound. Women were taught the dharma to be followed by them. Natangal pushed her son into the well and jumped herself into it. An unshaven dead widow was denied the performance of the last rites. The Devdasis dedicated to the temple underwent a lot of suffering. So Mahatma Gandhi addressed women spinning of the chakra at the chakra. So all women writers things like she's just addressing them in this all these paragraphs. So many things she talks about. Then she talks about the women's in the journals, how women's are portrayed in the journals. Then finally, we could see the narrator found that the library a dark and dusty place where the library staff was trying to restore the books that were falling apart. At lunchtime, we could see at lunchtime indulged in idle conversation with exhibited no interest in the work assigned to them. The librarian used string and mended the books on the library. In the library, he wrote letters to the that is what he wrote. He wrote letters and wanted to reimburse the money for that also. This also gave her much pain. Librarian told the narrator that the books and the magazines were waste and they should be burnt one day. This made the narrator leave the library with a heavy heart. That's the story reveals the suffering of the women and the women writers actually. So it is all about the sufferings of the women and the women writers, which has been told in your book, in your lesson, the Squirrel. So if you want to make an essay of this, okay, like it's very easy. You can just start with this introduction and talk about the library in which she is visiting, and what and all books she is reading, Penmadi Bodhini and Jagan Mohini books she is reading, and then you have to talk about her views about the books. Okay, what and all the sarcastic things she talks about Christianity, about that girl who wanted to tell her father not to sell her house, so all those things. And then finally how the Indian women were been treating with the white women with white badminton. These people were wearing saris and those people were wearing neat clothes, and how women were sarcastically suppressed those days. And finally women journals, how they were portrayed in journals. She's talking about Ramamurtham and Ammayar angrily confronted Rajaji, who wrote that Gandhi would not come unless people pay him money. So all this, and Tamarai Kanni, Annamalaya. So many references she makes in this lesson, in this particular short story. But this is only about, what I'm saying is it is only talking about how women are treated in this season, and why the squirrel is it's a replica of the thoughts of this particular women. So see, even in this particular lesson, she's not happy to say that she openly what she feels. She puts herself into the squirrel's place, and she tries to talk in the form of impersonizing herself. This is how the writing of a woman is treated. So this is all about your lesson. I would even post essays for you in future, but let's finish off all our book back exercises so that it's easy for you. And now the exercise for your comprehension corner. The first answer is library. The second one is the dash is referred to as a companion is squirrel. In the end of the in the end, all unwanted books are to be burned, and the library is not maintained well because it is used only by a few people. Then the librarian is compared to a Jenny. So because it is acting like some food books are acting as like food to these animals, no? So she she refers it as Jenny. Okay, next we have coming here to writing skill part. It is all about application, filling up your application. So this particular lesson is going to teach you how to fill applications, and you can see your books, you have a lot of information regarding filling of application. Read the whole form carefully, then gather all required, check with the references, use a good quality pen, avoid spelling, all that you have check if you have entered all the details. So if you are you people are all having the books, so just read all these things and get ready with the filling up of your application forms and all. So I've just made one application form for Scholar Point Library Chennai, book borrowing form, like the name is Argita, library card number, date, then you can say Confluence, are Rachel and Macmillan Grammar, Arvind, Merchant of Venice, Shakespeare. I just wrote any references. You can write anything just to fill. See, to know to fill details. Tomorrow you should not be standing in any place without knowing how to use or how to fill in the details. So this is what it is all about. And then being a college student, you will get in any opportunity to volunteer for many of the social camps. So this is a form for a social camp which they have given for you, and I've just made some references and filled it. It's Durga, date of birth, and then sorry, very 22 I made. Please make a change in that. And then number 4, Vasan Street, Trichy Road, Chennai, something you can make. And gender, it is male, Indian, some number, BSc, yes. If it is yes, name of the details of the earlier events is asking. So you can write tree plantation, beach cleaning, etc. So what is the reason is interested in social sciences. So this or social work, anything of that sort you can write. And then when the next thing we have letter writing. Letters are the pieces of memories. Okay, so it's a treasure. So now we are made to learn to write letters, and we have informal letter over here. A sample letter is given to you. In the story The Squirrel, the author mentions a Bengali daughter writing to a father, pleading with him not to sell his house to meet her marriage expenses. Though this sounds like a thing of the past, there are still such practices in some parts of the country. Let us read a recreation of the informal letter written by a 21st century woman. So how a 21st century woman will write in such case? If it is such case, how, what and all she'll do? Like her father is going to sell her house, but she's saying no. But how will a 21st century person write? Please read all this and be ready, because this kind of a question will be there for your exams. 5 marks easily you can score. Keep this stuff with you. Keep all the words which and all has been very useful for you, and you can recreate it in your own question given. See, this is the own question. So they have asked you one example: poor condition of life. Let us imagine that she decides to write a letter complaining about the issue of the magistrate. Here is an example of how a letter could be. So again, they have given you one magistrate letter. Also, there's like 2 example letters are given for you, children. Don't while away all these things, please. Very very important. Go and read all this. The words and the sentences would help you a lot, because all these are going to be in your question papers, and you can use these phrases for your sentences of your own if it is any other question also asked. Now there are 2 questions. The infanticide question is there. So this particular answer also I thought I can make for you, and I can give for you this particular letter, because it's useful for you when you're going to write your exam. So what I will do is I have already written. I'll just read it out, because reading is very important, listening is very important. I'll just read out an answer for this first question. Okay. What you do is you follow me and try to write it in a sheet of paper hearing my video, because see, I am doing this. I don't want to show this letter to you. I want to read the letter and make you write the letter listening to me, because listening is very important, because LSRW only we follow. So that is the reason. If you can't understand or if you can't follow me, you have to repeat the audio once again. That is repeating the audio in the sense you have to repeat my video again and again, and stop wherever you want, pause it and listen to the letter. Okay. So I am beginning the letter. like you got to have a proper header for the letter. Chennai date 15, like you can write in the right hand side date, any date 15/10/21, and the left hand side it will be dear anybody, dear Ramesh, Suresh or anything. Subject will be because it is a friend only, no, so you need not write subject and all for this. Don't think of writing a subject because we are just writing to uh, your friend, so you need not write a subject, so you just begin the letter. I'm writing to you to express my deep concern over increasing number of female infanticide cases in some villages. It is so shameful that when our country is marching towards prosperity and advancement, the barbaric acts of female infanticide are on the rise. I repeat once again, listen to me nicely and try to write it in a paper and keep. I am not showing the wordings for you students. Why? Because I want you to train to listen to the audio. Listening and writing to improve your English. Okay, tomorrow you go to any concern, it is like this. So listening is very important. So one activity of that I thought I should do for you. So this is a listening thing which I have the full letter in my hand. I'm just reading, just follow it. So again I'm repeating from the first. I'm writing to you to express my deep concern over increasing number of female infanticide cases in some villages. It is so shameful that when our country is marching towards prosperity and advancement, the barbaric acts of female infanticide are on the rise. According to statistics issued by National Crime Bureau 2015, saw the registration of 3,27,394 cases under the head of crimes of female infanticide. There has been a marginal increase of 2.5% of female infanticide every year. Now you can't follow me means pause my video and then you can write it hearing it, okay, because the video would be of a longer length, and that is the reason I'm just reading it. Pause it and you can repeat it and you can hear it. The next paragraph. Not only that violence against women is also on the rise rapidly, under the category of assault on women with intent to outrage her modesty, 2015 saw 84,222 cases being registered across the country. These outrages against women have created a poor image of India among foreign countries. Millions of foreign tourists visit India every year. This has directly affected the tourism industry. There was nationwide outrage on the tragic incident of Nirbhay and Asifa molestation cases. Though the offenders have been brought to justice, crimes against women have decreased. Besides these crimes, infanticide, foeticide, or killing unborn women kids has been increasing swiftly in some villages. I earnestly appeal to the government and the people to come together to fight against female infanticide. The government must form special police cells to guard and prevent this from happening in villages round the clock. The government must also pass and implement more strict laws than the existing ones for the safety of girl child. I am hopeful that your esteemed daily will give space to my views. So, we are talking about the female infanticide problem. But actually, the last line which says esteemed daily will not be added there. The government until the girl child, you can say. So, my views on this, if it is possible, we can find some solutions. This is how you should end up the letter. Do not write that I am hopeful that our esteemed daily will give space to my views. So that one you need not write, because if you're going to make this letter as a write up for the newspaper, you can add that line. So to adding up any sentence for the newspaper column, you can add which I said in the last. I am hopeful that your esteemed daily will give space to my views. So this is the last line you will add for if it is going to be the newspaper editions. Otherwise you can just end up with the questionnaire asked. Okay, so this is your letter for your part C, and the final is we have the squirrels worksheet. So very simple and easy worksheet you have. How would you address this? I will make it up in the next video, students. Thank you.